Alright everybody, say hello to Zelda, and today, as you can see, we're not actually on a console. I'm not uploading a video from my console today. May not be the case for the next few days, just because having a few internet issues with it. I think something to do with the connection software or hardware bugging out on me. But I do have something new for you guys that I'm wanting to try out. As you can see, for one, I'm doing a face reveal. You're actually getting to see the guy behind the channel, the one who's playing the video games and all that. And you're also going to hopefully see something new that I'm planning to do. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a magazine company called Gameinformer, but they're a game magazine company, one of the top game magazine companies across the globe for gaming news, and I'm going to try and start to do a thing where I kind of do game reviews on some of Gameinformer's top games of the month. I have a subscription to Gameinformers where I get the issues for every month, roughly a week before the month starts. So it's a little late that I'm showing you the April issue, but I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot and get something out to you guys. Hopefully you find this video informational. I know I do a lot of gaming, but I hope you find it informational and actually helpful in updating you about video game news in some of the top games today. So first, what we're going to start off on is the Gameinformer Game of the Month, which is Apex Legends. So far, Apex Legends has been recorded as the Gameinformer Game of the Month with a score of a 9.25 out of 10. Rated really, really high. It is classified as Gameinformer Gold. Apex Legends is a first-person battle royale shooter, which recently came out on February 4th of this year in 2019. And so far has been booming in popularity, and Respawn Entertainment, the creators of Apex Legends, has really taken their new look on Battle Royale. They're also the creators of the Titanfall series. If you've ever played Titanfall 1 or Titanfall 2, Respawn Entertainment is the company responsible for creating those games, and they're also responsible for creating Apex. So far they've taken an interesting kind of look on the way they portray a battle royale to the gaming community, and Respawn's taken it to a different level. Now, before I get into the more factual kind of approach to this, or at least any more so, I would like to state my opinion on Apex, because as you guys have probably already noticed, I upload Apex Legends every now and again on my YouTube channel. I really like the game Apex because it reminds me of Call of Duty. Mainly Black Ops 3. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, if you've played that, that's the kind of vibe or the kind of feel that I get when I'm playing Apex Legends. Is I get that high mobility feel with the intense combat system from up close to far away. The only difference is it's a much more open map, there's a looting system, it's a battle royale genre game. And I like that. I like how it takes a new approach to it. It's almost as if it's taking a role on PUBG, but going a little more advanced. Getting a little more into the combat mechanics and a lot more into the actual gameplay itself. But one thing that I've noticed with Apex that may have a slight downside is the gaming community is mainly focused around young ages. It's mainly focused around teenagers and slightly older kids, but it varies. There are a lot of adults that play video games, there are a lot of younger kids that play video games. Specifically a game like Apex Legends, though, the way it's built is more for a mature audience than a younger audience. Not to say that a younger audience couldn't play the game, but the way Apex is built is more towards a mature audience. For instance, in relation to Fortnite Battle Royale, it is an obvious kid-focused game. It is extremely kid-focused to the younger age, and that's probably why Fortnite has drawn more attention to itself over Apex. Apex was very anticipated, but also not advertised, which surprises me as to why it gained so much popularity so fast. But as I said before, the concept behind Apex Legends is to fight alongside your friends for supremacy in Titanfall's power-up version of Battle Royale, as I explained before. The graphics of Apex Legends in the Gameinformer are stated to walk a fine line between animated character design and realistic weaponry, as in they have a good sense of animation style to the character's abilities and whatnot, but they also take it semi-realistically to give a good feel to the graphical texture of the game. As of sound, the score thumps and blares in all right places, especially in the match's opening moments. The sound design is tense enough to make you fret over every approaching footstep or distant gunshot, so Gameinformer states. Which, yes, I like the way the sound mechanics work in Apex, although I feel like one issue that I would like Apex to kind of, I want to say, dive into, is I've noticed a big issue that when I record Apex and I upload it through my PlayStation on Share Factory, that the voice volume of the people I'm in the game with don't get portrayed loud enough. In Fortnite, I have no issue with my videos being able to capture the teammate's voice that I have in the lobby with me, but in Apex, it doesn't seem to handle that. While it can capture gameplay and sound effects, it doesn't seem to capture voice channel volume, and that's something that I would like to state. As for the playability, the learning ins and outs of every character is supremely easy, and streamlined elements like the pinging system make Apex the most accessible battle royale yet. They do have a very organized system, and it is very, very well done. I like how the pinging system works. It was extremely helpful, useful. I like how you can ping everything and make it specific, so that way even if you don't have a mic, you're still able to translate and communicate with your teammates very well, even in chances or situations where you're with random people. But finally, we're going to move on from Apex, and we're going to talk about another new game known as Wargroove. Wargroove, I don't have very much experience with, but Wargroove is another game that is rated Gameinformer Gold and rated very highly among this list. For those of you that do know this game, you might have a little bit of information on me that I don't have, but I'm going to give you the best information I can that Gameinformer states. So the concept that it says Wargroove has is command medieval armies of knights, harpies, sea turtles, and across several modes. So it seems like a game that has several different types of game modes and probably a variety of ways to play it. So it seems. And the way Gameinformer states it is that this game is as if you're in control of a given army of mythical creatures and soldiers, where you supposedly, I guess, try and take control and win the game mode you're playing. As for the graphics, it says the pixelated graphics are a gleeful nod to strategy games of yore, though some of the text can be hard to read. So it seems as though Gameinformer wants to state that the text is a little difficult to read, probably small font, or just difficult to read in general, could be a specialized font. But overall, the graphics of the game are really nice. I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and I think it looks really, really pixelated. I could definitely see a lot of games I could relate this to. I'll try and link down below in the description a link that will lead you to Gameinformer's website in hopes of you being able to check out this issue or buy the subscription for yourself. No, this is not sponsored. Buy the subscription for yourself, because these magazines can be really, really helpful. And if you can't manage to afford that, that's okay. I'll make sure to go through these magazines and give you guys the top rated games and the best information I can give you on them, from my personal opinion to what Gameinformer sees it as. If you want any further information, I can always post a game list from this issue, and all you have to do is comment down below and tell me what game you want to be notified on next, and I will make sure that it is put in the next video. Because for the next week, I'm going to be doing reviews on this, and I'm probably going to make it a once-a-week thing that I will get the Gameinformer for that month, and I will review 3 to 5 games. Right now I'm going to review 3, and we're going to continue with Wargroove as we evaluate the sound. Every commander has their own theme music, though the standard fantasy soundtrack can sometimes bleed together, as stated by Gameinformer. So the soundtrack seems to be bleeded a little too much into probably the voicing of some of the characters, but every character has its own theme music, so it says. Which is nice. It has a little bit of individuality, but variety in itself to the commanders in the game, which is very good to hear, and that lets it kind of give its own sense of style to each and every commander you meet or use. Playability, Gameinformer states commanding units is straightforward and quick despite some minor menu hand-ups. A zoomed-in view makes it easier to focus on the battle when unlocked on Switch. Okay, so if I didn't mention before, the game itself is available on Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So it seems as though if you use the Switch, a zoomed-in view makes it easier to focus on the battle when undocked on Switch. Keep that in mind. If you do play this game on Switch, there's a little tip of advice, and I hope it helps you out. And as for entertainment, Wargroove offers several ways to get your turn-based strategy fix, whether it's playing through an hours-long campaign, creating your own scenarios, or playing online. It says the replay value is very high from Gameinformer, so it sounds to be a good game. I'd definitely give it a shot. Hopefully, you guys will give it a shot too, and I hope you like it. So be sure to check out Wargroove, be sure to check out Apex, and now we're going to get on to the third game I was wanting to review, which was Far Cry New Dawn. Far Cry New Dawn, so I've heard, has already released, or I think it's close to releasing. I'm not entirely sure, but Far Cry New Dawn is available for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It is, I believe, I want to say the 6th in the series, because you had Far Cry, you had Far Cry 2, you had Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Far Cry Primal? We have Far Cry 5. No, I think this would be considered the 7th one. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys know the correct answer to that question, make sure to comment down below. Give me a little bit of tipsy information, and we can learn from each other in this video. So, as it states in Gameinformer, the concept behind Far Cry New Dawn is returning to Far Cry 5's Hopes County decades after a nuclear holocaust has transformed the world. So it seems like the setting of this game is inside a nuclear holocaust, probably a little bit similar to the Fallout series, if you guys have ever played that. Basically, it revolves around a nuclear apocalypse that you're trying to outlive in mutated creatures, or what you're battling. You're trying to survive, find food, find places to exchange money, and you get armor, all sorts of cool stuff. Love the Fallout series. As for the Far Cry series, I absolutely love it. My favorite game, hands down, is probably the 4th one because I like its take on things. Primal was a little bit awkward for me. I never got a chance to play 5, but it's meh. Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 2 were pretty good games, but in my personal opinion, I'm voting the 4th one. If any of you have played Far Cry, tell me what your favorite game in the series was, and I'll make sure to go down in the comment section below and reply to that comment. Maybe we can have a little debate. But, moving on to the graphics of Far Cry New Dawn. New Dawn adds plenty of hot pink to the landscape, but the post-apocalyptic motif is still well-trodden territory. So, the way Gameinformer states the graphics is it's plenty of variety of colors added, specifically hot pink, so it says. But the post-apocalyptic motif isn't exactly where you kind of want to add in all those colorful textures, although it does kind of bring a little bright and hopeful mood to the whole idea of a post-apocalyptic kind of setting. You don't want it all dark and dim because it almost makes it depressing, so I like the way they take on the new graphics with a little bit brighter aspect to it, at least from the way Gameinformer portrays it. I plan to play Far Cry New Dawn, hopefully sometime in the near future. Working on that right now. Now, as of the next part, we're going to go with the sound. Far Cry New Dawn's sound, described by Gameinformer, goes to say that, save from your silent protagonist, New Dawn's cast turns in solid voice performances. Seems as though that their take on the voice performances is very high quality, or at least really, really good, and that's really good to hear. I'm glad to hear that they have done a good kind of projection of the voices of the characters. As for playability, Far Cry's core mix of stealthy sniping and run-and-gun action hasn't changed much over the years for better or worse. Which is good to hear, considering that I've played some of the older games. If you have too, then you might know that the run-and-gun kind of sniping style hasn't changed a whole lot, at least from what I've heard. Now, I typically tend to stay in the back lines, but whatever you guys prefer, you know, I definitely think, because things haven't changed too much, that they're definitely handling the gameplay still well. I like how they're kind of focusing on enhancing the graphics. As for entertainment, superficial shakeups leave New Dawn feeling familiar to a fault for longtime Far Cry fans, but the gunplay is still satisfying. So it seems like they're taking a little spin off and they're trying to change it up from the original Far Cry games, but they're making it enjoyable and quite playable for those people who are new and coming from the old games. They're not trying to change too much, but they're trying to make it look good, and they're trying to give it better background. And that's really good in a game that has better previous versions. You want to try and keep that focus, but you want to branch off. You want to enhance what you have, but give some variety to it. You don't want it to be the same old thing. And I like that. So I'm looking forward to playing Far Cry New Dawn. And sadly, this game is only rated a 7 out of 10, which only makes it a Gameinformer Silver, I believe. Perhaps not even a Gameinformer Silver, which is kind of sad. But regardless of what Gameinformer says, if you guys liked any of these video games, if you've played any of them, if you have any sort of information you can give me to give me a few tips, let me learn a few things. If you have questions about anything I've said, or if you want to do anything further on this month's issue, be sure to comment down below. If you guys like this video, be sure to smash that like button and let me know you loved it, and I hope you've learned something new. If you haven't learned something new, that's fine. Make sure to ask any questions you want, or tell me how I can teach you something new. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well, and hit that notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. And I will see you dudes in the next one. Zeloma